All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Forex Daddy Bliss $1 billion Zambia's finest, should I say. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad that you have decided to join me today once again for this awesome analysis. So, in case you are watching this video after I just posted it, ladies and gentlemen, what I have started doing is that every morning I share my analysis on my YouTube channel. I also share the links on my social media platforms. Now this is just there to help everyone just be able to see how I look at the market. Now I do encourage that you actually leave your comments in the comment section so that in case maybe you have ideas or whether you look at the market differently from how I was looking at it, you can always advise. I always read the comments, and if you've seen, I'm one of the people that I respond to comments. And of course, for those that are just joining this session for the first time, I would just love you to know that we have what we call the BTA Forex revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, I confidently say this, not even Satan will be able to stop this revolution. So now this revolution is centered. The vision of this revolution is that we want to bring a community of traders together to be able to look at the market together, ladies and gentlemen, with one view, one vision. And the vision, ladies and gentlemen, still remains to make money and improve our lives. So this is a revolution that was birthed as a result of the first ever, and of course, the first ever biggest conference in Zambia as far as forex trading is concerned, to be hosted by a Zambian. So ladies and gentlemen, I truly desire that everyone sees the potential that is there in forex trading and just come to a realization and see how it can change people's lives. You can search, Google me, Google anybody that is trading forex. For those that are profitable, you'll be able to see it is able to change somebody's life. So without wasting much of the time, we'll get started. And of course, there's a group and it's free of charge, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is that you join the group. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll be able to leave the links in the description so that you can join the group that is on Telegram. And the rule is simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have a broker, the only thing you have to do is that I've sent links to that broker. So all you have to do is open an account with both brokers or one of the brokers. So once you open, and you can deposit in anything between $50 and $100. The minimum is $50, and then but if you already know how to trade, even less, because you are able to raise the amount, right? So once you deposit the amount, you just let me know you've deposited the amount, and I'll be able to add you to the group where we share and we discuss the market with other traders, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, not even the devil will be able to stop this movement. I can confidently say that, right? I was almost giving a script and saying amen. So so let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. So I was analyzing the last time I was analyzing jump 75. I actually made an analysis like this. If you check the previous video on YouTube, I made an analysis and I said the market was going to come. I did like this. There was a trend line and I said people are going to be buying. And what happened here was that I think it was just taking out the stop losses, and then it continued to go up. So now what do I expect from here? Well, this is a trend line liquidity. So what we do is that since this one was violated, what we do is we wait. We adjust. We do it like this. So I've started analyzing the market, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very easy for you to actually analyze the market. Now, most people get it wrong. They want to be seeing all these complicated things. Ladies and gentlemen, relax. Just see what you're able to see in the market. So what is it that I'm able to see in the market? And of course, I've been able to share that. I've been able to see that. And of course, from there, I've been able to see that this was an IFC, and this is why the market came to test this zone and started falling. So it is no surprise that the market came to test this level and started falling down. Now, as it tested this level, I think it has been creating liquidity on top. So this liquidity is this one. So I can see some liquidity here. I can consider this area as an area of liquidity, right? As an area of liquidity. Of course, the trend line is also liquidity and all that, right? But so on the fact that we have liquidity, this is almost liquidity, right? So on the fact that we have liquidity, those people that I mentor, that I teach, would obviously know what we are looking for is to look for the next IFC, or rather the next best where we can have the market, drop. So this one is a very good one. So I'm looking at the fact that if price has to now, I've identified the important areas, ladies and gentlemen. I've identified the important areas. So now let me now make a prediction, right? So the prediction is that if prices here, there is liquidity on top. If price were to break above this liquidity, I would be more than glad to take a sell from here, right? And then escort it all the way down, right? So I've made my first prediction. So the first prediction is that if price breaks and of course takes out liquidity, I'll be looking to come and sell from this zone. So this zone is my entry area. And where will I put my stop loss? I'll simply put my stop loss, a few pips there, and that's it. And my take profit would be this side. And of course, and with an understanding that this is a trend line liquidity, I would also look at, this is what I was teaching my students yesterday. So take this as an IFC. So if the market has to take out trend line liquidity, then we'll be looking at the market coming into this zone, and then from there it will be going down. It will be going up, right? It will be going up from there like this, right? It will continue to go up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are all predictions that I'm making, future predictions and all that, because at the time where the market is, I don't need to do anything here. I just have to wait. I know for a fact that the market would drop from there. It would drop and it would come here and people would start buying. But for me, I would wait for it to come here and then I would buy from there, and boom. So now let me just delete this and now show you what I'm now expecting as far as the current market price, or rather current market movements is involved. Let me just use red. So now your stop loss is dependent on how much you are willing to risk, right? Let me make this one a little bit, let me try to use a different color. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Forex trading is easy. We don't have to complicate things. It's very easy. All right. Yeah. So as far as this market is concerned, if the market here, I don't have to take any trade, but I would be glad if the market dropped and came into this level, then I would take a buy. Because in as much as many people would think this is a breakout to the downside, those that are just trading based on the trend line, this is what we call now liquidity, right? So what happens here, this is trend line liquidity, and what happens here is that because liquidity is free money for the big boys, so many people will be thinking it's a retest, it's a breakout, and then when price begins to go up, they'll begin selling at this particular point, hoping that it would go all the way down. But what actually happens in the actual sense is that price continues to go up. And this is why when we learn market structure, we don't actually just validate a breakout based on the trend line. But what we do is that we wait for the market to come and break this low. And then once it breaks, then you can confirm that it is a breakout to the downside. But as long as it doesn't break and there is a good IFC here, just know it's coming into this point. So now, what am I saying? Here, my anticipation is that if the market can continue coming down, I would be willing to take a buy in this area and then escort it all the way up. So this one would be my entry for a buy because there is an IFC, right? We have an IFC here. Let me just, I'll just label it IFC. So now I know to some IFCs are like it's a foreign term, and of course I do understand, and yeah, because in trading we use different trading methodologies, and it's possible that you cannot know about these things. So now how I trade as an individual, it involves knowing all these IFCs and all that. So we also have another IFC here on top. So this is where I will be selling from. Yeah. So now what I'll be doing is that if I take a trade here, my take profit would be, my stop loss, first of all, it will just be here, a few pips down there, right? A few pips down there. And then my take profit would be here. My take profit would be here. Who knows? Maybe it can just come here. The market is crazy sometimes. Sometimes it can just come and reverse from there. So my take profit would be here, right? My TP would be there. My TP1 for the buy that I would take here. My TP1 would be there. And then my TP2, ladies and gentlemen, it will come and be in the IFC, where I expect a reversal to the downside. Now this is my TP2, this will be another TP, right? So ladies and gentlemen, I'm done analyzing the market. So I have a point where I'll come and buy and a point where I'll come and sell. So all I have to do now is just exercise patience. That's it. Exercise patience and wait for the market to actually move and reach these points of interest. But as it will be moving, I'll be adjusting. If I see, based on how I see the market moving, I may adjust and change my points of interest. Now there are certain things that I'll use to judge that. Now, so some of those things include speed in the market. So now when you come to my lessons, how I teach and all that, there are certain things that indicate that price will be changing direction. And those things, before you actually come to the break of structure and all that, people would attest, those people that I'm teaching, especially those in the November intake, they would attest that I taught them about speed, I taught them about projections of the highs, projections of the lows, all those things. And now the fact that we have this sort of consolidation, it's not a consolidation, but it's showing that it's an uptrend. These people are already knowing that, you know, in terms of speed, what is price telling us? You know, all those things very easy, ladies and gentlemen. I enjoy doing this thing. Oh my God. I enjoy doing this thing. So ladies and gentlemen, it's as easy as that. So I'll just be waiting for this to happen, and I'll enter when it is time. So for now, all I have to do is exercise some patience, go and have fun with my friends, do whatever that I'm supposed to do, and then I'll just be waiting. I'll wait, or rather I can just set pending orders. So now I'm just gonna set pending orders right now. So I'll come and enter. So I can see this is some sort of a pin bar. I'll come and enter. I think it would be okay for me to enter at this position. So let me just get that that number. And what I would do, since this one is only for analyzing and all that, this is jump 75. So what I would do is that I'll create what I'll call a buy limit. I'll use a buy limit. Where is it? Okay. So now let me modify it. The entry point is, so don't worry, when you see my MT5, the analysis is not on point and all that. I don't use my MT5 to analyze. So the lot size, I'll use, I think 0.2. Yes, I'll use 0.2. And the entry price would be that same one that I've copied. And then the stop loss, let me just get the stop loss value. The stop loss value is this one. I don't know. I'll see, first of all, I haven't calculated how much I'll be risking. So I'll be able to see how much I'll be risking once I put my stop loss. So I don't struggle when it comes to doing okay, so I've seen I've put the buy limit over there, and then the stop loss is there. So here I'm risking $10 just. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a good trade. And then where is our take profit, ladies and gentlemen? Our take profit is here. So let's judge this trade, ladies and gentlemen. So our take profit is here. Let's judge this trade. Let's judge this trade, right? Let's judge this trade. So let me now put so this one I'm supposed to delete it, right? Because I was just using it to. So the take profit, let me put the take profit there. All right. Okay, so how much will I be making here? So I'm supposed to make over $30. Okay, if I'm making over $30, it's good. So I'm risking $10 to make about 94 USD. That's a good trade. That's a good trade. Now I have more in my account, right? What do I do? So what do I do in this case is that I can even put many trades now. I can take, maybe if I want to risk $50, then I can take 5 trades, risking $10 per trade. So in total, I'm risking how much? $50, right? That's how it is. So in this case, I'll be able to do that. Let me just delete this so that it doesn't confuse you. Yeah, I'll be able to do that once we are done with the live session. I don't want it to take long, right? So I'm done. I'm risking, how much is that? When you put your stop loss, it's writing 10.28 USD. And how much will I be making? I'll be making 94.77 USD. It's a good trade. So now what I can do is that I can either increase the lot size so that I can use a lot size that will fit for $50. Let's try to use a different lot size, maybe. Modify order. Sorry. Where is the? I can't see where I'm supposed to change the, you know, the volume and the like. Okay, you know what? Let's just leave it. I'll do that later on. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, and then of course, if you want, you can actually set the the pending order for a sale, but that is that will be done later on, right? So ladies and gentlemen, that's that. I've done my analysis. There's a lot of people waiting. Let me just admit them. I've done my analysis, and okay, let's see. Good morning, our Zambia's finest trader. May God bless you. I believe by the end of the next year, Zambia will finally be stable to use, and you are the best in Zambia. Thank you so much. I have funded my accounts. All right, you contact me via Telegram. I've learned a lot from you, sir. Thanks. I would like to become your student. What is the process? Okay, I'll be able to talk about that later on. Have learned a lot from you, sir. Thanks. I would like to become your student. I'll be able to talk about that later on. Psychology in trading. Can you please analyze step index? Okay. Okay. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. The next thing is, since we've analyzed this one, we've put you know, everything and all that, we will proceed to another thing. So now, as I've analyzed, you will be able to see that it looks as though, you know, somebody, if I was alone analyzing, here it wouldn't look as, you know. So I would do this. I would remove the trend line. I would remove quite a number of things so that it just remains clean. At least like this, it remains clean, right? So I don't need to put all this, the entry and all that. All I need to do is, you know, remove it, because I already know as an individual. So I already know, just by doing this, I already know, and I'm just waiting. So I've removed, and somebody who wasn't there when I was analyzing, they wouldn't understand how I analyze this thing. This is how we do it. So let's go to another one. Okay, I believe this, I did an analysis yesterday, so I would just want to talk about it and see how it has moved. So in case you didn't know, this is the analysis that I made yesterday, and I'm anticipating it to reach here, and of course I'm waiting, ladies and gentlemen. This one I'm waiting. If you can see, ladies and gentlemen, here, if that trade goes in my way, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be making over, my take profit is here, I'll be making over 244,928 28 USD. That is over just on one trade. I'm using lot size 1 on this one. That's just on one trade. So let's just say 250,000 USD. How much is that? 250,000 USD in Zambian kwacha. Yeah, I don't know how much that is, ladies and gentlemen. If this trade just goes in my way, it will be history made. You know, I'll be making history on one trade. Take just one trade. This one I'm ready to risk even about even just about $1,000 just to make this. It's a huge thing. Yes. And what I'll do is that I'll just leave 1,000 USD, and I'll just let that 1,000 USD just be for this trade, and I'll be making over 4,321,000 kwacha, right? That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. This one will go down in the history books of Zambia, but I hope it does go that way. So I've already set the pending orders. So on MT5 you're not able to see my analysis because I do my analysis from there, right? So I already analyzed this one. Liquidity. This is what I was teaching my students yesterday. We have liquidity there and all that. So these are all liquidity traps. What we expect price to do is that it needs to take out this liquidity, and now it has to take out this liquidity. Where will it be? Where will be the next stop? It will be the next IFC. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, the forex trading is easy. It's easy, ladies and gentlemen. It's easy, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I go further, allow me to just teach you something. You see, it's not always that you see people who come live and then do this analysis. For me, I'm not scared to say, okay, you know, somebody would have different views from what I know. I'm not saying like the information that I have is like the best and there's no other information. There's so many methodologies in trading. But I have found harmony in the things that I trade and the methodologies that I use. And from those methodologies, ladies and gentlemen, I've been able to consistently backtest them, improve on them, and ensure that I have a formulated system on how I trade. right? Yeah. So let's go to the next asset. So that's what I'm waiting for on this asset. Let's go to another asset. I don't know what's there. Okay, this should be volatility 75 1s. So all we have to do is now we'll start from the higher time frame and just be able to see how price is moving, and obviously be able to make a prediction of how the market is going to move. And the only thing we'll be doing is now wait, right? So ladies and gentlemen, I can see okay, quite right, there's quite some information here and there, but I believe I'm not a long-term trader. So I've been in the trade for some hours or just some minutes, or I'm a scalper and a day trader. So I don't use large time frames like the daily. I use them mainly for analyzing where the market would go next. So ladies and gentlemen, I can see here we have an area of liquidity. Ladies and gentlemen, first things first, don't stress, just see what you can easily see in the market, right? So ladies and gentlemen, I can see we have liquidity over there, right? We have liquidity over there. So if we have liquidity over there, where do you think the market would stop next? So I can also see we have liquidity at this particular point, right? We have liquidity at this particular point. So if we have liquidity at this particular point, what do you expect? So I can also see that we have the market, we have defined, this is the, I think, an area, market tested this area, and then it also tested this area, right? Now, this is now me establishing my analysis. The reason why I'm drawing these lines is because I suspect the market can be doing something, right? Yeah. So I've seen on the 1 hour, I'm like, okay, let's now go to a lower time frame. Let's say maybe 30 minutes time frame. Let's say maybe 30 minutes time frame, and just be able to establish now what the market will be doing in the short run, right? I mean, in the okay, let me just delete this. I'll be able to label it again. I don't want the lines to pop up again. Okay, right? All right, all right, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so somebody from my students actually has noticed something, and it's something that I expect, ladies and gentlemen. And so let's start by analyzing. I can see something interesting here. Let me even go to a lower time frame, right? I can see something very interesting here. Very, 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 very interesting. So now I can see something that looks like Wyckoff, right? Now, in order for you to be able to see it properly, let me do this. Now, I know if you don't trade Wyckoff, maybe if you are still learning Wyckoff, you may not be able to see it. But, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I've been blessed. I have an eye of an eagle. Ladies and gentlemen, trading is easy, ladies and gentlemen. You just, once you understand how these things work, it's very easy, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me just, okay. So first things first, I'm able to tell that this is this law will do this. So now the reason why I'm doing this, I'm seeing if I can see a potential Wyckoff structure. This is how I do it. So now I can see we have this level, which actually looks like can be the PS, the preliminary support. This is the PS, right? This is the PS. So at the end of once I'm done, I'll be asking you to just make contributions on what you think, and just be able to help me. If you have a different idea on how you're looking at the market, you can let me know, so that we can reason together. Two are better than one. I really do appreciate. And so like that, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, this is the AR. Let's see, this one looks like the AR. Okay, if you do trade Wyckoff, you know. And now I think now if you do trade Wyckoff, you've been able to tell that it actually looks like Wyckoff. So now this one now becomes our UA. This one becomes our UA. It's very easy, ladies and gentlemen. Now, somebody who doesn't know this may not be able to see what I'm seeing. Now, let me just give a phenomenon, or rather, an illustration that I learned early on in life. You are able to see the screen, you're able to see, okay, the background is white, and all that, you're able to differentiate the colors. Do you know what actually happens? It's not your eyes that are able to tell you that this is white. It's actually your brain. Your eyes just absorb the light that is coming into them. And then your brain interprets that image and tells you, okay, this is white, this is blue, and all that. Now, come to look at it from this perspective. Have you ever met somebody, so as I'm drawing the Wyckoff, I'll be explaining. Have you ever met somebody who's maybe colorblind, they mix these colors and all that? What do you think happens in that case? What do you think happens in that case? Do you know what makes an image, or rather what makes you look at this and say the background is white? It's because of the amount of light that is coming in your face. If we subjected you to a different intensity of light, maybe the white would look as another color. So you see, somebody maybe who is colorblind, who would see black as white, it's not necessarily that they are seeing wrong. It's just based on how much light is going in their eyes. So now, here is my explanation to that. You are only able to see and interpret something depending on how much light is coming in your eyes. Now, let's deviate from the aspect of talking about light. You are only able to see something as a, as a result of how much information has come in you. How much information have you absorbed? Why do you think people continuously say, don't stop learning? Because there's something that learning does to you, and it changes how you see certain things. And that is how light is. The more light you receive in your eyes, the more you'll be able to see and interpret something. You're like, okay, this is white, this is blue, this is what. People that are blind, it's not because they don't have eyes. They have eyes, but the light that enters, it enters in their eyes, but they're not able to. So it's about intensity. Now we can use that in the way we analyze, or rather the information that you grab. And this is why people say, don't have room for negativity and all that. Yes, it's true. It's because as you absorb those things in your life and all that, they affect you, right? So ladies and gentlemen, how much light has entered your eyes? How much light has entered your eyes? Right? Ask yourself that question. How much light has entered in your eyes? So you are only able to see based on how much light is entering your eyes. This is how the camera works as well, right? It's able to work in the way that if light goes into it and blah blah blah, that science, and all that, I've forgotten the science, and it's been long since high school and all that, but obviously you understand that principle. Yeah, it is projected as a result of light. You see, oh my god. So I can easily see that this is liquidity. We can spot this as an area of liquidity, right? So now this is what has happened, ladies and gentlemen. So we can see that this is a PS, this is a SC, this is the AR, this is the ST, this is the UA, and then we have price coming back all the way and giving us the ST in phase B. So this actually does look like a Wyckoff accumulation. So now if I have to trade based on Wyckoff, I have to wait for it to come and make what we call the spring. And this is where I would be taking my trades. So this is an area, a potential area for a spring. Right now, I won't be explaining how Wyckoff works and all that, because we're not learning. It's not a lesson, but it's merely just me analyzing the market. So a potential area of spring. So now I'm not saying this is exactly where it's going to end from. This is just there to remind me that I need to see the spring. Right now we can see, ladies and gentlemen, here we had liquidity, and then if we had liquidity, this area would have been coming to test an area of an IFC. So let's see if we can find an IFC there. Right? Are we able to find an IFC in the UA? Are we able to? Yes, very good. The IFC is there, right? So let's shade this area, right? Very easy, nicely and sweet. Trading is easy, guys. Trading is easy. We shouldn't complicate things. Trading is easy. So since I've been able to, this is why maybe others, for those that caught it, you could have entered a trade here and your stop loss would have been above there. I mean, these certain things like this happen, so this is why we leave room for a stop loss. So, and price has been going down. So now, if price can continue going down, what I would do is I would wait for it to come and make the spring, and then I would take my buy. Now, let's now see what the market is currently doing, right? I can see here we have, is this liquidity? It looks like it, but let's do this. Okay, we have some sort of liquidity over there. And then what else do we have? We have this, right? We have some sort of a pattern here. What pattern is this? Is this a descending triangle? Looks like it. So now we have a breakout on the top side. So this can be maybe a retest, and then price would bounce up and go all the way maybe to that point. Now, if it has to bounce, what else are we able to see from here besides the trend line that would guide us to say, okay, this is how price should be? We can see price has been reversing in this area. So, well, maybe it actually makes sense that, you know, we can have price do that. But of course, for me, I don't really trust these trend lines a lot. So, but for those that do trade trend lines, I mean, feel free to do that. But for me, the fact that we also have liquidity here, I would wait for price to come and break and come all the way down this side. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can see something interesting here. This was merely just maybe some sort of a stop hunt. So I can actually consider this as an area of liquidity, right? As an area of liquidity. Or before I consider it as an area of liquidity, am I able to see an IFC in this area, right? So that if price has to come here, we can actually have price coming here. If we are able to see an IFC here, so meaning this IFC will be a banker block, right? Now, I know I'm mentioning maybe terms that you've never heard of. What you can do to yourself is that, okay, as you can see, this one is a pin bar, right? My students know I was actually just teaching them, the ones that are, they actually know the pin bar strategy, right? I won't be, explaining that. So it's possible that price can come in this zone and then start retracing, and it can start retracing, right? It can fall from there. It can either fall. Now I'm making assumptions here of what price can do. It can either fall, right? Or so I'm making assumptions, ladies and gentlemen. This is how I do it. Now, I'm putting all these things, they'll probably look dirty and all that because I'm trying to show you how I'm looking at the market. But once I'm done, I'll delete some of the things and I'll just leave the major zones. So from there, if it has to break and if we have to consider this area as an area of liquidity, what do we do? So we have to look at the next point, which is this one. Do we have an IFC there? Are we able to find an IFC? Are we able to find an IFC? Yes, we are able to find an IFC, which is this one. So it has met all the criteria. You can actually check on the 10-minute time frame. It has met the criteria of an IFC. So all we have to do is that area. And so what I'm now going to expect here is this. This is what I expect in the market. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just put this line so that we establish where we're going to be entering from and all that. Okay, so this is what I expect. So since we have an IFC like that, okay, so we have another point of interest. Let me just, we have another point of interest. So this is an area where price, if it has to come up here, price would have to fall down, right? Price would have to fall down. So now I have marked all these points of interest. Now I can see that with Wyckoff, it's showing me that this can be an accumulation and price can be going up. So I would be looking to come and buy from here. How will I be able to locate this spring? I can use a trend line. This is a little hack that I use. I can use a trend line like that. So somewhere there, I can see that we can have a spring there. But of course, trend line is liquidity. So this is why we have this thing passing through, going down, so that we see some liquidity being taken and then boom, we'll enter, right? As easy as that. If it can come to this point, I'll come and take a buy and I'll escort that buy all the way. My take profit one would be in this point. So remember, the reason why I'm putting my take profit in this point is because I know that there's a possibility that price can reverse from there. So I'll put my TP there. I'll put my TP there, and then from there my second TP would be on the top level, this one. So now also on the top level, I've identified that there is an IFC, right? IFC, right? So that is a potential reversal area. So I'll come and take a sale in that area. So here we have what we call a banker block. So I'll just write BB, banker block, right? Here we have a banker block, and then here we did have an IFC, right? And then here we did have some liquidity, right? This was a liquidity trap. Many people were trapped trying to sell in that area. Yeah, this was just a mere liquidity trap. So we can see, and that is how price is. So we can see some liquidity here. If price can actually fall, we can see some liquidity here, right? So it's possible that price can fall. We can see some liquidity over there. So let me just you can see some liquidity over there, right? Some liquidity over there. So if price, so liquidity has to be taken, and where will we be expecting? We'll be expecting to come and make a spring, and then boom, we'll enter the market. So ladies and gentlemen, what is it that I'm going to do in this so for those that trade using trend lines, and of course they've seen this pattern, others have entered a buy here, and well, if it goes well, I've shown you where it can actually come and reverse from. So this is where you can put your TP, hopefully. And well, if it does actually go down like this, it will come to this particular point, and this is where I'll be looking to buy. And then if it continues to go up, I'll come and sell from here. So this is where my entry is, and then I have another area. This will be my entry. Now this is an estimation. I'll be able to modify it as price moves. And of course, for those that love risk things, they can take a sell here, but I wouldn't really advise people to take a sell here unless otherwise. But of course, this trade will be based on this trade will be based on how the market will move. So there are certain indicators that you'll be able to see that price will be changing direction. For example, speed, how we'll also look at the expansions, retracements, and all that, you know, the length of those things, how we can be able to see and be able to tell that price is losing strength and all that. So for those that I've taught, I've actually I have a whole lesson on that, on market structure. I've gone deeper other than the market structure that you know about, just break of structure, testing the IFC or whatever. Now I've gone deeper than that. So this is what I'm looking at. So for now, I'll just delete this entry. So I'll look for an entry there and an entry at that particular position. And now all I have to do now is wait. Of course, if you want to take some short-term trades, feel free if you're a scalper to scalp. But for me, I love taking such trades so that when it just comes here, I'll risk more and make more cash, right? So for example, how much will I be making here if I enter a trade here? So all you have to do is use this tool. So if I'll have to enter at this particular position, and then my stop loss maybe would be somewhere there, right? Maybe somewhere there, and then my take profit would be where can we put our take profit? Well, this area looks promising that it can reverse. So now with this sale, how you're going to identify your take profits is, first of all, look at the market. Is it in a deep downtrend or is, you know, uptrend? So I'll be able to see, and of course, if it begins to reverse from there, maybe here, the fact that, you know, if it breaks, it can come here and then go up, and then, but if it does, actually, then it will be coming all the way down. Yeah, it will be coming all the way down. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I feel will happen in the market. So this is what I feel about this particular asset. Feel free, you can see what I've done in the market, and of course with an explanation you now understand how I'm looking at this trade. Now when I post an analysis, I'll probably delete all these things and all that, and I'll just leave major areas, right? I'll just leave major areas. I'll delete all this, the IFCs, this zone. I'll delete this, I'll do this, I'll delete this. I won't show it there. I won't show it there. I won't show it there. I won't show it there, and I think this is okay. Yeah, all right. So that's that about Volatility 75.1s. And of course, I'm going to go to another asset. So what I'll do is that I'll quickly analyze, and then I'll stop the recording so that we can now discuss, so that I leave the recording for the YouTube community. All right. Well, so let's look at another asset and then we see. Okay, so this is volatility 25. Let's look at the higher time frame. We see how price is moving. Okay. Oh, some people, I think maybe because I didn't. Okay, let me see. Okay, okay, nobody's requesting to join. Okay. Spring, I've tried texting on WhatsApp. How do I become your student? Okay, so my other WhatsApp line, I don't know what happened to my WhatsApp. It's actually tripping. The network one, it's tripping. I've not been able to use it, but I'm hoping I can resolve the issue. It's been offline for some weeks now, over a month. Coach, isn't that a descending triangle? Guess it's going down. Okay, somebody says descending triangle. I don't know. Like I said, with these patterns, I don't know. You can actually refer to the notes that I. Can we look at step index? We'll see. Okay, I've tried. Okay, so how can I join the mentorship program and do that? We need a short illustration on Infinox platform on linking. Okay, I'll do that. Somebody says can't see your screen. No, it's visible. What time frame am I using to analyze the chart? Mr. Vincent Moale, is it our former minister? I don't know. Okay, yeah. So yeah. Don't worry, I'll be responding to all those questions later on. So we are now at V25. So ladies and gentlemen, here is some secret. How I trade is this. For me, I don't analyze every pair, every asset. And I may analyze a lot of them, but then I'll only pick some. I won't be able to trade everything. No, I'll only pick those that have the highest probability of going in my direction. That's it. I don't even stress. So this is why you only see, maybe sometimes I've only analyzed 2 assets, meaning I'm banking on them. Okay, so we can see that this is H4. We can see that this is a good downtrend. We can see this is a high. You know, the market is doing, you know, everybody knows this, right? The high, you know, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower. Okay, we can use, I think, this one. Yeah, these are measures, lower low, lower high. We can now then come to this particular point, this, then lower low, okay, and then this. So these are like minor, you know, structures and all that. So now what is it doing? It's still in a downtrend. I believe for it to break this, it can come to this particular point, and then if it breaks, then we have a confirmation that price is going up, right? But of course, since this is a higher time frame, let's go to a lower time frame, right? For me, I'm more interested in doing what in seeing what the market will be doing. So let me try to go to the H1. Let me try to go to H1. Okay. All right. Okay. So here, those that trade train lines, they'll probably just do this, and then they'll be waiting. They'll probably just do this, and then they'll be waiting, right? This is what they'll do. I don't just trade train lines. So if you watch my my other video, I was saying there are assets that obey price action. Then there are those assets that do not, right? So I know when to use train lines and when not to. Yeah, on these assets, especially these synthetic indices. So what I'll do is this. Quite alright. That trend line looks good, not very bad. Okay, let's okay. So I believe what price is doing is that I can see some liquidity here. So now this is, now we're looking at the current market price. I can see this is some liquidity, right? So if this is liquidity, let's find an IFC. I've seen this IFC, ladies and gentlemen. This is why price came to testing this IFC. So now this one would have been a good entry for a sale. Yeah, just for a scalping trade, right? Others will do this also. So for those that do trend lines, they will now do this. So now you see, now this is a pattern, and then institutional trading and patterns. Now this is where people get it wrong. We have a pattern which is okay, And with price action, we understand that for those who know how to trade this pattern, I don't know. I've not mastered the names of the patterns, but what it is, somebody was asking me to say, if you teach me, will I be able to trade nasdaq or whatever? I'm like, for me, I don't say you only trade this. How I teach is that I teach you to be able to follow price. Being able to be a good trader is about how you are able to follow through price, how price is moving. So it doesn't matter which asset it is. You can trade anything if you understand how price moves. That's it. That's it. The only thing you need is now to understand maybe the fundamental aspect of it, but technically, if you just understand how the market moves, that's it. If you understand these concepts on how the market moves, that's it. You've gotten it. So you can trade anything, you can go to bitcoins and do that, but the only thing you now need is now to understand the fundamental aspect of it. But technically, you're able to trade anything. And this is why you see me, I can post NASDAQ today, and I'll post what do you call this, US30 the other day, and that I can trade whatever that I want, provided I see that. But of course, it's something that comes with what you like the most, All right, so let me just delete everything, right? But let's not forget that, okay, so we can see, so others here, what would they be thinking? They'll be like, okay, this is a breakout and retest, and then price should go up. And now how price should go up is that if you are to determine the TP, you get distance from here and here. This is what actually guides you on where your TP would be when at the retest. So this is where your TP would be, which is actually, I think, equal to this high, right? Well, all the best, you can do that, but for me, I don't know. There are just certain instances that I don't trust, this price action. I'd rather now, in this case, let me see, because there is that liquidity. So now, since there was an IFC, we have to refine it. My students understand the aspect of refining an IFC. Am I able to find another IFC there? I don't know. Let me go to a lower time frame and see if I can find another IFC. Okay, let's try and see. So I'm sure those that are my students already know what refining means and all that, and what we do. Okay, I think I can find something here. All right, so it's there, right? Right, like that. So there was that. Is that okay? So if we refined, we would have missed that entry, but of course the other one actually put us in the trade. I mean, sometimes you can just wait for price to just come in that area. So what are we saying here? So I can see, since that has happened, we'll do this. Would we consider this as okay? Yeah. Okay, so I think this is liquidity. We can take it as liquidity. So what I would wait for is price to come now and test this IFC, and then boom, I'll take the trade all the way back. So now if I take the trade all the way back, where would my TP be? It would be here, right? I will consider these trend lines also. So I'll be like, okay, my first TP would be there, right? So that is where my first TP would be, and then eventually I'll come all the way, this is where I would be looking to put my second TP, right? But of course, I think this information is enough, and of course, if I have to put my TP here or I have to extend it this side, will be based on how price moves. So basically, this is what I see here, and of course, owing to the fact that price looks like it might change and start going up, well, it is possible when you follow price action. It is possible that this can be just a retest, and then price would go up like this. Those are trade price action. Price would go up like this. I don't know. This particular pattern. What is it? Oh, we have a break to the upside, so maybe it would go up, right? Yeah. So those are trade price action. If you trust your price action so much, I mean, feel free. I'm not here to judge anybody and all that. No, it's not that what I know is the holy grail of trading and all that. Sometimes I do take losses as well. Yeah, that just proves how inefficient information in the forex market is we don't have information that is 100% true. One way or the other, you still take some losses. So this is how I'm looking at the market. I feel lazy to start labeling everything and do that, but I hope from the explanation you've been able to get it. So I'll just be closing for the YouTube community. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching me from YouTube, on YouTube or Facebook or whatever that it is, this is what I feel about these markets. And of course, I'll be able to review them in the evening, as we'll be having a communal live market analysis, and we'll do many more analysis. So if it's your first time visiting the Billionaires Trading Academy, feel free, like, and of course subscribe. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not watching this live, do let me know in the comments what you think and all that. And of course, share on what I can now start sharing on the platform. So we don't just want to be talking about charts. We can also talk about maybe other things. You can ask your questions and I'll be answering them in a video format. So if you haven't subscribed, do ensure that you subscribe, so that the next time I post another video, you will be able to get notified, and you catch this information just red-handed, should I say, or rather first-hand. So also give this video a thumbs up if you found it valuable. Give it a thumbs up so that it can be recommended to another person. So if you'd love to join my community, I've left a link. I've left a link in the description, and of course in the links down there, I've also left links to my social media platforms, because I've seen we have scammers that are imitating me on Instagram and all that. So to ensure that you don't actually fall for that, you follow the right channels. And of course, the link to the group is also in the description, and we have a good broker that we're using for synthetics and the currencies, and I'm also leaving the links in the description. So just check it out and have a blessed day as you enjoy your YouTube. Yeah.